All right, you've heard me talk about this in the previous chapter, but the accounting cycle. What is the accounting cycle? Well, the accounting cycle is the steps that are taken to record the events during the period produce financial statements, and then prepare the beginning of the following period. These are the things that we do in accounting. This is the kind of the start to finish, if you will, of accounting. And there's about 10 steps to it, give or take, depending on how it's set up. But these are the 10 steps that you would see. So first and foremost, if you remember the identify side, it kind of runs hand in hand with that, and that is the analyze. I need to analyze what transactions are being affected, what goes up, what goes down, all this kind of good stuff. Do I need to go to work? Do I need to actually record it? That kind of stuff. That is in the first step. The second one is what we just talked about in the previous chapter, and that's to journalize. Go ahead and start journalizing, putting in journal entries, which runs hand in hand with the third one, which is to go ahead and post them, put them in the T-tables. Okay. Then once you have that, you have a step that's called the trial balance, and this is more specifically called the unadjusted trial balance. Okay. The unadjusted trial balance, as the name implies, is it happens prior to the adjustments, which means that the fifth one is going to be the adjustments, and we'll talk about those in this chapter. Then we have step 6, which is another trial balance, which is the adjusted trial balance. This is the one that happens after the adjustments. Again, these are only just to make sure I'm still following the accounting cycle. Once I have the adjusted trial balance, then I move into the financial statements. There's 4 financial statements that we talked about. Income statement, statement of retained earnings, balance sheet, and then also the statement of cash flow. Once I have that finished, then I have what's called the closing step. Again, we will talk about that in this chapter. And then in chapter 9, we do another trial balance. This is called the post-closing trial balance. This is the one that we do to make sure our closings were correct. And then finally, if we need to do part 10 or step 10, that's called any reversals that we have, any corrections that we need to make. Those are the 10 steps of the accounting cycle. We probably obviously won't do all of them, but hopefully you'll get an idea of what each of these looks like.